here's the list of first things that we can do on Xiaomi 15 Ultra right after the initial configuration. So first thing that we can do is make sure that our system is up to date. But also, before we actually do that, sometimes in notifications we can find this prompt, finish setting up your device. So you want to tap over here in order to get it done with. So if we see this, then of course we can press start, and most likely it will look like during the initial configuration. So for example, I didn't set up using another device, so it will ask me again if I want to do that. So I want to skip again if you skipped it before, and if you want to skip it again, then just go ahead and do this. So this is pretty much, like I said, most of these things that you will see here will be the same as during the initial configuration. So you have like the second option, another chance to set up your device with some help or do some things that you didn't do during the initial configuration. In my case, because I have 2 SIM cards, I need to choose preferences, which card I want to use. So you can go ahead and select your card if you have this as well. You might be asked to set up the password, so of course you can do this right here. You can choose to use a pattern, pin code, or a password. I'm just gonna skip it because later on I can still do this in the settings if I want to, so I don't have to do this now. Copy apps and data, I don't want to copy. I don't want to set up Google Pay yet, and I don't want to do any of these things. Although, of course, these are pretty good suggestions, so you can do this if you didn't do that before. So if, for example, if you want to adjust the display size or something, or if you want to change the wallpaper, you can immediately use these in order to do so. But I don't think they are as important right now. So once we are done with that, we can go to the settings. And the first thing that you may notice is the update button in About Phone, unless your system is already updated. But if you didn't update, then you can just tap update here, or go to About Phone, press update here, or you can tap on the Xiaomi Hyper OS text in order to check if there is an update. If it's available, then of course you want to download and install the latest update for your phone. While it is being downloaded and installed, we can go back to the settings, and you can scroll down to find additional settings. And then here we want to go to accounts and sync, because over here we can add another account. So if you didn't set up the Google account or something, or if you wish to set up another Google account, then you can choose Google over here and you can sign into your Google account. At the top of settings, you can also find System Apps Updater. So it is worth checking it out in order to find some features that can be updated. For example, in my case, I have the MI AI Translate that I can update, or the feedback app. I can also tap over here in order to find all other apps. And of course, most likely these are system apps, well, as the name suggests, obviously. But these are apps that you cannot really find, for example, in the Google Play Store, so you can update them over here. So if you want to update something, just press update on them. Or of course you can press update all. But as you can see over here, we also have some other apps, like for example TikTok over here, which is the Bloatware. So I don't really feel like updating it over here, but I can still do this through the Google Play app. Alright, let's check if the update is done. And there we go. Now we can press reboot now in order to let the update be installed. Alright, now that our system is up to date, the next thing that we can do is check for updates for apps that we have installed. So we can go to the Play Store. Of course, I'm opening it for the first time, so I need to press get started. Over here we have most used apps. I don't want any of this, so I'm just gonna skip. And then unfortunately we also have to verify our purchases by either setting up the password or by using biometrics. So I'm gonna just use a password instead. Once we have access to the Play Store, we can tap on our profile in the top right corner. Then we need to go to manage apps and the device, and then over here we are checking for updates, and as you can see we have lots of them. We can just immediately press update all, or we can tap on the option itself in order to find which apps are about to be updated. So I'm just gonna update all, but of course you can go one by one through these apps and decide which apps should be updated and which apps should not be updated. Once that is done, we can simply exit the Play Store and let's move on. So the next step is removing all the bloatware that we have installed on our phone, and there is quite a bit of it. So essentially what we can do is go through the app drawer and find apps that we don't find useful at all. For example, AliExpress, I don't really need it, so I can just remove it, uninstall it pretty quickly. The same goes Amazon Music and Amazon Shipping as well. I don't need it here. Unfortunately, if you have app mold, then we cannot really turn it off. The only way to get rid of it is by changing the region to the one that doesn't have it, for example, United States. Booking.com, I don't need it here. Let's see. Facebook, let's get rid of that. It was pre-installed without my consent, so let's get rid of this as well. And let's see, is there anything else? I'm pretty sure there is. The MI Start, can we get rid of it? Yes, we can. So let's get out of here. And I think that's about it. Well, Spotify, well, I guess I can use Spotify, TikTok as well, so that's fine. Now VPS Office, goodbye. And there we go. So this is one of the ways, of course, to get rid of the bloatware on our phone. And unfortunately, as this is Xiaomi, we also have ads in certain apps. So I'm gonna show you now how to disable all of them, or at least most of them. So first, what we can do is go to Downloads, and then tap on these three dots in the top right corner, and go to Settings, and then we need to disable Show Recommended Content, and then confirm your choice over here. Next, we can go to Music, MI Music, tap on this icon over here in the top left corner, and go to Settings. And then over here we can, for example, disallow permanent notifications. I also disabled autoplay videos, but that's just for me. Next, go to Advanced Settings. And then over here we have additional settings section where we can disable ads. We can also disable show online recommendations, sorry. And also personalized recommendations, we can turn it off as well. We also have online content services, which I guess are fine. They are not related to ads, I think. And yeah, that should be it from here. Next, we can go to the security app. Next, tap on this setting gear icon in the top right corner. First, we can disable receive recommendations here in recommendations section. Then also go to the cleaner, and in cleaner we have the same option here, so we can turn it off as well. Last but not least, we can go to themes. Let's press consent quickly here, or we can actually close it. And okay, so now we have to go to my account in the bottom right corner. Then over here in the top right corner, let's go to settings. And we have show ads, so of course we can turn it off, as well as the personalized recommendations. And it seems that these are all apps that include ads. In case you also have App Vault app, in my case I don't have it here, although it was being updated. So if you can find App Vault, you can also go into the app, look for three dots, and then you can go to manage services in order to also find the option to disable ads or recommended content or something like that. But since I don't have it here, I cannot really show you this. And next, once we get rid of ads, the next thing that we can do is set up the screen lock finally, unless you already have it. But if you don't, then what you need to do is in the settings, go to fingerprints, face data, and screen lock, and then we can set up the screen lock over here. I'm gonna set up a simple PIN code. Of course, we need to remember our password, and we need to enter 4 to 16 digits. So I'm gonna use a simple code. Let's press continue. Okay. And of course, we can also add the fingerprint, but I'm not gonna do that yet. If you want to, then you can tap over here on fingerprint unlock or face unlock to use one of these two biometrics over here. All right, so with the screen lock enabled, the next thing that we need to do is disable the wallpaper carousel. I'm pretty sure it should be now enabled. So in settings, we can go to lock screen, then over here go to wallpaper carousel. And if you see this prompt, then you can just simply press don't agree in order to not use the wallpaper carousel. However, if for some reason you have wallpaper carousel enabled and you want to stick with just one image in the lock screen with one wallpaper, then you can just disable lock screen over here and then choose turn off. And you can also disable swipe right on lock screen. So if all of these are disabled, then you should be able to not use the wallpaper carousel. Okay, next we're gonna go to battery and let's check battery protection. Over here we also have the information about the battery health, that we can calibrate it by fully charging and discharging our device 3 to 5 times to improve the accuracy of the battery health stats. So let's press got it. But essentially what we want to do is use battery protection or smart charging. You cannot use both at the same time. So as you can see, if I enable battery protection, smart charging is being disabled. Even though it is on over here, it doesn't really matter because battery protection is above the smart charging option. So we can choose one of these two options in order to protect our battery. Let's see if there's anything else that we can do in the battery section. Let's go to charging options. Over here we have wired charging mode, so we can turn it up. We can choose top speed in order to increase the charging speed. However, as you can see, this works only with Xiaomi supplied chargers. And of course, as a drawback, our device might heat up. So it's up to you if you actually want to use it. But we also have the wireless charging method. And we can choose to use the silent mode, where we can reduce noise and slower charging. We can have slower charging, but we can also use standard or increase the speed of wireless charging method. Alright, then we also have additional features where we can find, for example, the 5G battery saver, which might be worth turning on, and the same goes with the cold endurance mode, which is useful if you live in an environment which usually has low temperature. We have also firmware updates, where we can check if there's any update for the firmware for the battery. And let's see if there is anything new. And it seems to be up to date because there is no prompt after that. And okay, so I think this is pretty much everything. We also have battery checkup, but we don't really have to do this right now. And here, if you're looking for the battery saver, then here we can select it. Alright, so battery is covered. The last thing that we can do, I believe if it's still there, what we can do is, as you can see, if you go to the app drawer, over here at the top we have suggestions. I don't like it. I like to have my list organized from the top towards the bottom without any suggestions. So we can tap on this setting here over here in the top right corner, and we can disable app suggestions. And there we go. As you can see now, the list is fully alphabetical. And that is pretty much it. These are, of course, essentials that you can do on your phone in order to fully set it up before you start using it. The next things that you probably want to do is, for example, go through the display and brightness settings, where we can adjust the screen brightness and disable or enable the automatic brightness. You can switch it to the dark mode. You can also go to the refresh rate, but it is set to default already, but you can also go to custom in order to force 120 Hz screen refresh rate. But if you use default, then it is still using 120. We also have display resolution, where we can increase the display resolution even more, so you can use it. And as a drawback, of course, we are using more battery when we have increased display resolution, but we can also enable save battery with WQHD+, where we can switch resolution automatically to save power. So just in case, you can use it here. Alright, so that's, I think, it. Oh, and of course, if you're looking for wallpaper changes, you can go to personalization into settings. And here we also have a bunch of different stuff that we can customize and adjust to our own needs. Thanks for watching, leave a like and subscribe to my channel, and see you in my next videos. Bye!